So, I let's get it. Man, I have to go through all these units again, but it's all good. All right. So we have Briar Witch. This was my main opener for the season until the last like week when I switched to Ellie Ghost. But yeah, Briar was pretty OP. People were saying she's pretty bad, but I don't think she was too bad. She was just weak into Lua, so you just couldn't pick her into Lua. But if they went Lua, you go like Ellie Ghost instead, so it's like fine, or you go Ran. You go Renewed Will. All of my bridges were tuned for Briar pretty much. Like they were all around 280 speed, 270, 280 speed. And you'll get to them. You'll see it. But yeah, that's Briar Witch. This is Ran. We got the 312 Ran on fake gear because at this point in 2025, like Ran is just there to S2, S3 and get the death breaks. That's literally it. Like he has no other usage. He's never gonna do damage anymore with the new fucking builds that everyone's are going, and it's just not worth it to give him your fastest gear. So I said fuck it. But he is good into Lua because of 2-turn immunity. So yeah. Alright, we got the best opener in the fucking game. We got New Moon Luna on crit chance neck because no HP. Like you fucking hate to see it. But with this build, she can kill imprints with S2 if she lands Death Break. And she's fast enough to take the turn and then Soulburn and push Ludwig up GG, This was my main first pick. If she was available, I always took it. Unless it was Zeo pre-ban. Then I take Veronica first pick. But yeah, she was like fucking beyond broken. Because like, full seal, she has book. Like all the anti-cleave units they all have passives pretty much. So this bitch was OP. Alright, we got the other main opener during the last week. I was running a 320 Eligos, damn near. And he was so strong with Ludwig, Teu, Zeo. Like that shit was so good into like half the player base because they kept going fucking Amiki 4, which is like not the answer. So yeah, I got hella free dubs with this shit. And he's pretty good for racing because his artifact pushes and he does quite a lot of damage on his S2. So yeah, very, very strong opener. I'd say he's definitely gonna be weak once Arunka comes out. Like once Arunka's out, like this unit's gonna fucking die. So yeah, his value lasted like a week. Are you going to make new season cleave tier list guide or top teams video like before? Honestly, I can do that right now if y'all want to after this account review. I'm down to I know people ask me for Litica flowchart, so I'll consider that after this. Alright, so we got Para, skip Para. Harsetti, this is Guild War only. Litica, she's gonna be the new fucking broken opener on the block. Be careful drafting, or not drafting, but be careful when you're gearing this unit because people are going to steal her like half your games because everyone is playing Litica at the moment. It's so cringe. So yeah, I still don't know a really good counter. Like the only counter I could come up with was Bellion on 3 with like ER cheese. But like besides that, like I feel like she could beat everything else. It's so hard to play into this unit. Low key. Alright, we got Knockhole. Didn't really pick that much this season because there were just better openers than her, right? Like, yeah, she's good because of her like full bind, but now Litica does that, right? She's really slow as an opener too, so that didn't help. So yeah, didn't really pick too much. Frida, Candle over, yeah, always Candle Knockle if you're cleaving, right? There's no point going Guiding Light because like, I mean, why do you need stealth? Like you're just there to S3 land death breaks and then you go for the kill. Because if you don't have Candle, then you can't kill anything. So yeah. Oh, Litica. Oh no, this is just placeholder. This is just placeholder. No, I think Renewal is definitely BIS, but I don't have a second one at the moment that I'm using. So yeah. Frida, obviously really good into AU Fiend because she can bridge past AU Fiend plus opener, so your Ludwig can cut, right? If you go like Lua AU Fiend, you can go Frida Ludwig. So your Zeo Soul burns, Frida pushes, gets to S3, pushes your Ludwig a second time, and then he gets to do his thing. She's also pretty good into Hua Young, right? just because you give Ludwig S2 immediately. So even if Huayan counters, then like it doesn't do anything. So yeah, Frida was pretty good. Obviously, you run this artifact. You can run the other one too, like her own arty if you don't have this. But this is just um in case they have. It's more like an arena tech, right? If you seal the Bellion with Luna, then you get 20 souls instead of just 10 from her own arty. So yeah, Veronica, this is guiding light shit. You know, I'm not gonna really explain how Veronica works because she is pretty common and pretty easy to use. Obviously, you go third EE, so you can proc your Teiyu. That's pretty much all you need to know. You got Ahmed, didn't use. This I only drafted as a 4-5 versus resource units, right? So stuff like Young Senya, Designer a little bit. What else is there? Flan sometimes. Or if I'm Zeo trapping, then I would also take her. Like Ellie goes Sea Phantom, right? So yeah. I try to use this unit, but she's not that good for cleave. I try to use it as a counter to Lua because I was really struggling versus Lua. I had like a 40% win rate versus that character at one point. So I built up this to like try and counter it, but this didn't really do anything either because like my team is too squishy, and this thing is way too squishy too. So yeah. But it's fine now. Eligos can kind of deal with Lua, so it's fine. Silk, obviously, you want to have Giga F so you can counter a Miki, and then you want to go Immunity Sash. It's BIS. If you don't have Immunity Sash, just go Guardian Light. It's not as good, but at least you could still S2. But the most important thing is you have to have F, and then at least be like 270 speed. Like closer to 280 is good, but yeah. Just as long as you have like maybe 170 plus, you can tag Amikis pretty consistently. 280 Surin. So this is tuned for my Briar Witch S3. So when she procs her renewed will, she will take the next turn, which is really important because sometimes when I'm taking stuff like Veronica and like Shuri, right? Well then I need to, if they ban Veronica, I need a second way to take the turn after my Briar S3, so that's why I would take Surin. So no matter which one they ban, Surin or Veronica, I have a way to bridge my team. And then RNL just in case she procs it, I can S2, S3, get 2 kills that way too. Didn't pick that much because kind of hard to pick in this current meta. Similar to Knuckle. Didn't pick at all here. P-Flan. I used her as a Zeo bridge sometimes when I needed like heavy control. So if they went like a lot of cleansers but not much damage, I would whip out the P-Flan and plus SPA and then try to control them down. Or if they went like super ER, right? That was another scenario. I think she'll be a lot better with Lidica, not really with Zeo. But yeah, she was built. Gala, this Gala's pretty bad, so didn't really draft. Didn't draft. Did not draft at all. Caesarea, this is a pretty good Caesarea. I wish I had a little bit more F so I can tag higher ER stuff, but I needed the speed threshold and this attack range, so I couldn't really do it, but maybe once I get better gear, it'll be easier. So yeah, she's pretty good. So this is my main DPS of the season. I gave him my best DPS gear, as you can see. It's like really fast too. He has 3 fucking event craft pieces because he needs to do everything, right? He needs to kill, he needs to be fast. Well, I guess it's just those two because like you need to be fast in case they go Zeo trap, so that way your Ludwig can cut if you pick like Fire Poly plus like fucking AU feed, you know what I'm saying? And then you need a damage obviously so you can kill tank down. So low key, if you have 2 Ludwigs, that's like BIS. You can pick the damage Ludwig if they go tank down, or you can go the speed Ludwig if they go Zeo trap. But then like I try to just fit both criteria into one Ludwig, which is really fucking hard. But I only have 1 Ludwig, right? So what can you do? Vic Chun legend logs. We don't talk about those, man. Alright. We go Mort next. Perlucia is a must on Perlucia. Or on what the fuck am I saying? On Mort. Because it prevents your backline from getting one shot, right? For example, if they go Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, this shirt's kind of gas. If they go fire Mercedes, right? Um, if you have Perlucia, your Ludwig is not gonna die to a Magic for Friends, right? Like if you saw one of my games against Retry ever, his Mercedes failed to kill, and then I won the game off of it because only because of this artifact. Other reasons why is because immunity is really good for the backline as well. Like for example, if they go ML Poly, but you have Luna Mort, you can put Luna in the back, so your ML Poly, in case she's faster, she won't be able to push back your Luna, and then you can push up your Ludwig and then go from there, right? There's a lot of flexibility with this. Another example is if you go Ellie Ghost Mort, you can put Ellie Ghost in the back, and then he'll be buff stacked with Barrier Immunity Stealth, so they can't tag Ellie Ghost either. There's a lot of nuanced cases that makes this artifact really, really good on Mort. And then he's also on 270 speed, so that way he can be faster than the blue Elenas, than the Ilanovs, than the FCCs, right? Than the Tories as well. Just so that I get to fear first. Like if I get to fear like a blue Elena, for example, that's like really, really good for me since she won't be able to cleanse after. So all right, here's my other main opener for the season. Probably my most picked, I want to say, besides Ludwig. We have Giga FZO with 270 speed. So I think if you're playing pure Zeo Cleave, around 270 speed is good. That means you'll still be faster than openers with one imprint, but not faster than openers with two imprints. So if they go two imprints, you'll have to slam one imprint as well. But the most important thing obviously is the F. Like you want to hit as much F as possible. If you have to sack your damage, like it's fine, right? I decided to keep some damage on him, but I am also missing like 20 F. Like this Zeo can't really tag Bastion and Katie's that consistently, so it is what it is. But it was good enough to at least get me to legend. So Flan, I only pick Flan when Zeo's pre-ban because I think Zeo Flan is really, really bad. Not gonna lie, because Zeo Flan Ludwig they proc too many counter attacks, right? Since dual attacks have a double chance of proccing counters, you just end up like dying super, super fast. And you need some sort of death break on your team too, which Zeoflan and Ludwig don't really provide if they're all on immunity. So it wasn't that good for me. But if Zeo was pre-banned, she was like the best unit to pick. You can go like Flan on one or Veronica on one, like Flan Veronica into Briar Eligos 3. So that way, if they pick stuff to counter your S3, like for example, like Elena or Designer on your against your Briar, you can take you still have your flange just S1 instead and then bridge that way, right? So yeah, this unit was really strong when Zeo was pre-banned, but that's really the only scenario. And then I'm on Torrent because the AoE damage is really nice. In case they go like Solly on 3 and I get to S3 my Briar, I can S1 and then clear their team because they're all death broken. Alright, let's talk about Blooming Lidica. Alright, so this girl's build changed like 10 times, but I stuck with this build. I think this is her best build in my humble opinion. The one that's giga fucking F, right? I'm like almost 280 with this. This can tag pretty much everything because nowadays her utility just comes from her S2, right? Like this is why Blooming is good, is because of this. So her matchup spread is very, very good, right? She beats a lot of stuff that beats Cleave. Like for example, she beats ML Lua. She beats Ilanov now because of her restrict. She beats Elena. She beats Fire Poly. She beats AU Fiend. She beats Amiki. Right? Like there's so many units Blitica's good against because of her S2. Oh, she's good against Haste too because of the unbuffable, right? Like her matchup spread is crazy. So I feel like if you don't have this unit, it might be impossible to cleave low key. So during the next limited, I would definitely try to pick up a Blooming if you're interested in cleaving. Like she's very, very good. Okay, did not pick. This is my Bastion ER Acades because what's it called? I needed to pick this into into Zeo, right? Like if they steal Zeo from me, then I would slam this down and then hope I resist. Which is like it worked out more times than I thought. I got tagged like maybe like 5 times in total when I picked this. But for the most part, she's able to resist mostly everything. And then she can cut because of her EE, which gives her 10 extra speed. And then she pushes up like a BBK or a fire poly and then just goes from there, right? Definitely go with this EE for sure. And then yeah, I would just pick her if they stole my units. Let's talk about. Do not pick really any of these. I guess DDR, right? Honestly, I didn't pick DDR that much, just because he's pretty bad for cleave because he's so inconsistent. Right? If he lands everything, then he ends up being good. But if you miss one target, it's GG. Because since your team is so squishy, right, you can't afford to not sleep one thing. Like, for example, if you fail to sleep an Ilinov, well, GG. Now Ilinov just cleanses, and then your entire team dies because they're all like 8k HP, right? If you don't sleep in Elena, it's also GG. If you don't sleep a Bride Senya, it's also GG, right? There's so many units that if you don't sleep, it's just giga cooked for you. So he was really inconsistent, but I needed to go as much F as possible so I could beat ER Cheesers, which is like the only time I picked him. And that's pretty much how I used him. It wasn't that good though. So alright, we'll talk about Shuri. I think the Shuris now you want to go on Guiding Light instead of Sashay because you want to have imprints built to tank versus Ran, right? Especially now with Ran's like pseudo buff where he gets extra attack and he doesn't care about elemental disadvantage anymore. Like he can kill Greenson and Vildred now, so you can't pick those imprints anymore when you're racing versus Ran. So you have to go something like this plus Guiding Light Shuri instead. So Solitaria, she's on book. You only, I mean, again, it's pretty simple when to pick her, just against focus. That's pretty much it. Genoa's an anchor when they go AU Fiend sometimes, or Ed. More so Ed, because he procs his S2, procs Genoa, and then he just one shots. So my 4-5 versus Ed was Lionheart plus Genoa, and it worked out pretty well. All right. Sharklot, I picked this when I was picking Briar on 3, and I needed a second like S1 proc. Like for example, the only units I can bridge off of Briar S1 is Flan and this unit. So if they stole Flan from me, and I needed another way to S1 bridge, like if they go Flan plus like speed lead plus like Solly, right? Or not Solly, maybe like designer, right? Then I needed a way to proc off of an S1 instead of an S3 because I can't S3 to designer, right? Likewise, via Flan and they go like speed lead imprint plus Solly on 3 plus like Elena, then I also can't S3. I have to S1, right? So I would take Sharkla instead. So I ended up picking her quite a bit this season. Obviously the fast build so she can bridge, and then the S3 will kill like a designer because she won't proc because this is only 4 debuffs at max, which is not enough. So all right, let's look at SBA. Oh, what Rand changes? It's just a frenzy changes, right? So you get 1500 attack, and elemental disadvantage damage reduction is taken out. So yeah, that's why Rand's pretty good. SBA, just book. I only picked it with P Flan because they would be like the combo to try and control the enemy team. So yeah. This is the speed haste build I used during my first legend push. If you don't know what this build is, I'll just quickly summarize it. He's just there to push up off of a counterattack and then instantly revives with S3, right? Water's Origin, push up 20, or what is it? Is it 20%? Yeah, 20%. And then S3, revive my Ludwig that died off of like a candy counter or like AU Fiend counter, and then just go from there. LHC, speed build, only picked versus Ed. So, yep. Did not pick this. Vildred, just go as much damage and speed as possible. Speed is very important because you want to be able to bridge with just his S2 proc right here, like this 20%, right? You want to be able to bridge in case you don't have Sashitanes. Bright Senya, I don't know how to use this unit, so actually I just got a Senya copy selected, so I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, I'm still figuring out how to really draft this character in my games, but she's a pretty good anchor versus counterattackers as well, similar to Haste, so yep. Ran with symbol, I guess. Yeah, definitely symbol, because you can still miss green, but yeah, you take those odds now. BBK, you go fast BBK because you fight Aethene all the time. So you want to be able to bridge your BBK with like a Renewed Will plus Veronica S1, or a Renewed Will plus Frida S3, or a Veronica S1 plus Flan S3, right? Those two, like essentially you need two push-ups so BBK can cut in front of their team and then rip the S3. Like it's only because of Aethene why she's this fast. That's literally it. Jacko, this unit I didn't really pick often because I just didn't prefer picking her over anything else like Ludwig. Though the only times I did pick her was when Ludwig was stolen. Right? If they steal Ludwig from me, then I would slam Jacko and then it'll be a free win because people stealing Ludwig is like pretty bad. Says it's like a better Commander Pavel because he doesn't care about resource reduction, right? And his damage is like pretty insane with his S2. You get increased attack and you can extinct. So like versus Spirit Eye, for example, you can just like straight up kill Spirit Eye or like Tories or like Flans like through their damage reduction passive. And you get to extinct as well. Like this additional damage is insane because he gets attack buff now, so it's really really strong. And you would pick him when you can guarantee proc him and you have death breaks. And it doesn't even matter like if they have CR cut. Like if they go poly Aethene, like he doesn't care because this S2 will just one shot both of them with the death break from Briar. So yep. Spectre, I only picked it for Zeotrap. It's pretty good as a Zeotrap character, but that's literally it. So yes. Here's my DPS poly. Obviously, you go as much damage as you can. Some F is nice, you can tag like different knights. Um, Pretty simple one to pick her. You go her when they go Acades or Sage Ball. So that's pretty much the only situation I think. Oh, sometimes Blue Elena. If their team is really squishy, I'll take her into that as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the only scenarios. Gloomy Rain. If you're building or if you're playing Zeo Cleave or any type of cleave, you definitely want Gloomy Rain build for sure. Because she's the only imprint with book, which is very, very valuable, right? In case, for example, if you're playing against a cleaver that anchors with BBK, and let's say you have Veronica, they're gonna play to ban Veronica, right? So you need a second way to counter their speed team with anchor BBK, but you can't go something like a blooming, right? Because otherwise you'll just get outsped then. Which is why you go like Gloomy Rain instead. So with Gloomy Rain, it's a speed imprint, so you'll still maintain your speed while also countering BBK because Briar Soulburn is unbuffable. So you're guaranteed to land that, and it'll just fuck over BBK no matter if it's ER or some shit. She's also good in case you go like Luna and Ludwig and Zeo, and then they speed up at the end, but their team is also still super tanky, right? Like if they pivot speed on 4 or 5, like Wandering Silk +1, but like they have an Ilinov plus FCC plus Pera, right? Then you would still slam Gloomy Rain into that because you need enough damage to kill their tanks while also sacrificing, while also not sacrificing your speed. So like they can't just ban your Zeo and outspeed since they'll have Gloomy Rain plus Luna, right? So that's really, really good too. Are uploading on YouTube? Yep. I got a bunch of polys making Degen poly ever an idea. If you're playing aggro, yes. If you're playing cleave, no. There's no reason to ever have a degen poly. Like even if I had a degen poly, I don't think I would ever slam Degen Poly into cleave. I'd rather just take the DPS one because I'm playing a Katie's, right? So I can just push up my Poly after Zeo takes his turn, and then the DPS Poly will just wipe his team. So yeah, you don't really need a Degen Poly if you're playing cleave. Okay, where were we? Let's talk about Fire Shuri. I mean, just as much damage as possible. Elena, she would be a pick I go with Mort, right? I only go Elena if I already have Mort on the field. Otherwise, I'll just take Mort. If they go too much counterattacks, I would force ban their draft by going Elena plus Mort. So no matter what they ban, they can't counter at all. So Mort Elena was pretty good, just because yeah, like if they go Candy, Hua, AU Fiend, right? Albedo. That's 4 counterattackers that just never proc. So against situations like those, she was obviously really strong. Also, she's at this speed, so she doesn't cut in front of Ludwig because you want Ludwig to go first before Elena. Otherwise, if your Elena goes first and she has 3s, that could trigger everything, right? That could trigger Hua passive. That can trigger, I guess something like CR pushes from Ilinov. That can trigger Elena, right? Blue Elena. There's a lot of things that can happen when you S3 with Elena, so I don't think it was that good. Another pick I go into Elena was Celine, right? Celine can tag 1 and then just hopefully able to S3, kill something else, right? So yeah, only into Elena I would pick this. Rope Elvira, this is a hidden tech. You can only learn this shit if you're a purchaser of the Exarian Commandments. I'm doing a discount right now for $39.99 for newcomers to my Discord. So yeah, definitely hop in my Discord, send me a DM. I take PayPal, I take Cash App, I take Venmo, you know what I'm saying? I take direct bank transfers. So yeah, definitely consider that. All right. Let's talk about Taeyu. So Taeyu was, I think, one of the few reasons why Cleve was good. I think he's low-key saved Zeo when he came out. Because now you have a character that can non-attack skill strip and death ray. We never had that before, right? This is the first. And he's also a good damage dealer too. So he ends up like being super broken with Zeo and Eligos, right? You have 2 ways to proc him. And people just didn't know how to fight this at the end of the season. Very, very strong. He doesn't care about AU Fiend, right? Because he gains 50% CR, even with AU Fiend, which is enough. And he can just one-shot whatever he wants. New flowchart. I'm thinking about doing a Litica one after this, so we'll see. Got 40 well coins. Should I pick Elena or just wait and Prage? The lights and fall out and sold 100% counting. If you don't have, or if you already have all the other units, I would say yeah, go for it. Cause like Elena, she's like a middle priority unit. So if you already have the important ones like Taeyu, right, Ludwig, Blooming, right, Frida, I would say fuck it, yeah, you can do it. All right, let's talk about as anchor AU Fiend. Hua Young, this unit sucks. I try to pick her as an anchor, but she would never counter and just die. So yeah, pretty unfortunate. But I guess she's okay if they go like literally 0 damage. But you can't pick her into Tooth Para. You can't pick her into AU Fiend. So it's pretty rough. I mean, you can pick her into AU Fiend, but it's like a 50-50 matchup, right? It really just depends if she gets to counter onto AU Fiend and she gets to S3 Soulburn Extinct her. So yeah. Rowan at 300F for sure, right? This tags everything. Lower the attack so this doesn't proc stuff like Hua Young. It doesn't proc stuff like not Young Senya. White Senya. Doesn't proc stuff like Janua. Right? So yeah. And then Amiki. Just immunity is necessary if you're a cleaver playing Amiki as an anchor. Because immunity Amiki can kinda deal. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna sneak. Okay, excuse me. So I was saying immunity, right? Because if you go immunity Amiki, then you kinda have a decent chance versus Wanderer Silk. because this immunity will be hidden behind immortality and increased attack. So they won't be able to like silence you and like decrease attack you, which is like pretty nice. So yeah, immunity is really really good. And I think that's it. Well, that was a lot shorter than I thought. I kind of sped run this. Holy shit. But that's pretty much like my core units that I picked. Yeah, like my main draft, it would be Zeo, Eligos, Ludwig, Teiyu, plus Mort. That was a really common draft I did. Another version was if Zeo was pre-banned, I would go Flan, Veronica, Briar, or Eligos, and then pivot from there. Another setup was Luna, Zeo, Ludwig, right? Luna, Zeo, Ludwig, Politis, because I usually go with Katie, so if I go Luna, Zeo, Ludwig. If they steal my units from me, I like to do like Luna, Politis, Acades on 3, and then play that way. Another one is the Korea tech. The Korea tech is very, very strong. So if they steal your Zeo after you go Luna, right? You can go Luna plus Hua Young plus Ellie Ghost, right? So how this works is if your Hua Young ever procs and gets a kill, Ellie Ghost S2 procs and he gets a second kill and you push up your team. It's so strong. I won so many games playing this Korea tech. It's a bit RNG, but it worked for me a lot, so I think those are my main drafts. What do you pre-ban? Bellion Harsetti. Yo, what up, Dim Sum? What's gonna be your tech for the Arunka coming out? It's either gonna be steal Arunka and then play Zeo, or play Fire Litica. But I think I'm gonna play Fire Litica because she is just so strong. So, do you think Zeo Cleave will be dead? Uh, it's looking like it, but if Arunka works with Zeo Cleave, like you have to pair Arunka with Zeo. Like you can't not take Arunka, otherwise you just die to her. So yeah, it'll be like Arunka Anchor Zeo +1, and then we'll see. But it doesn't look that good.